You're in Braves country.
Happy Friday to everybody. Welcome to Braves Country Today. I'm Matt McGee, your host. We get ready for a big series against the Milwaukee Brewers and Drew Smiley going to the mound today. Real quick, we'll recap what happened yesterday. We don't have to dive deep into this. We're all pissed off that we got swept again by a team in Toronto that we actually think that we're just as good, if not better than. There's no reason for this team to lose 6 games against Toronto. Luckily, though, they're not in our division, and we don't see them again the rest of the year. And if the Braves were to get it together and get back to the World Series for the first time since, 99? I don't think they'll be facing the Toronto Blue Jays. For whatever reason, the Blue Jays have our number, and you just got to tip your cap and say, you kicked our ass, let's move on. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to move on. I had some notes, and I just don't really want to dive into the whole thing. I want to take it on a positive thing. The only thing I can say about it real quick is that Charlie Morton is not an innings eater like everyone thought he might be going into this. And so what you're really looking at with Charlie Morton is a guy that's going to give you 5, maybe 6 innings, maybe. And then you're going to have to use the bullpen. He's going to pitch better, y'all. He's done this every year. I've watched him quite a bit as I watch a lot of Tampa Bay Rays games. He picks up momentum later in the season. It's the middle of the year and playing fantasy baseball. I'm aware of Charlie Morton the way he is. A lot of times he's out there on the waiver wire. I can usually pick him up, and then he hits the stretch run, and it just seems like he flips a switch after the All-Star break. So I'm not giving up on Charlie Morton. He's just not a gimme. He's not a guy. He's not a DeGrom. He's not a Cole. You don't roll him out there and go, we're going to win today. He's not a Tim Hudson, right? He's what we thought we were getting essentially. And so he is what he is. He's got the veteran presence. He's not going to freak out. He's not going to be bad for the locker room. He should get you 5 to 6 innings most times, but he's not going to get to the 7th. And then the other thing is, would they quit doing this over shift? The shift is killing us. It is absolutely killing us. The last couple of games, they have shifted us into losses. When Mentor gave up that double against Biggio, the center fielder was playing left center against a left-handed hitter. I don't care if it was lefty-lefty. Players are more likely to pull the ball with any kind of force. You either play him straight up, or maybe you shift a little bit to a pull. And what happened? They had him shifted like he was going to hit the ball the other way, and he roasted it into the gap. If you would have played an honest defense, that is an out. And maybe they get the W. And then the grounder in the 9th that led off all the debacle, they were guarding the lines. You only guard the lines if you have a lead. You don't guard the lines in a tie game. You're opening it up for an inning. Most teams typically don't guard the lines unless they have a large lead. So their analytics is garbage in Atlanta, and they've got to address that. As a fan, just sitting there watching it, I know that the shifts are getting their ass kicked. Why don't they figure it out? I'm not saying you never shift, but be smart with them. Don't guard the lines when the game's tied in the 9th inning, because that grounder that skipped through the hole that started the whole thing, it was opened up by the third baseman and the first baseman basically standing on the chalk. It makes no sense to do that when you're tied. You're opening up an inning, and that's what happened. So we'll put that to bed. To hell with it. We move on. There's nothing you can do about it now, but I'm getting pissed at these damn shifts. Little non-Braves news, but it is baseball news. ESPN signed a new deal with Major League Baseball to carry him for the next foreseeable future. I think the deal ends in 2028. They're going to carry 30 games plus playoff games. So what does that mean? We're stuck with Sunday night baseball with A-Rod for the foreseeable future. Now that he's bought the Minnesota Timberwolves or bought into them, I just wish he would go focus on that. So we're going to be stuck with that for a while. And between him and Matt Vasgersian, I don't know what they're going to do. If they're going to keep those guys, they've got to add a third person who's actually likable. Vasgersian is not a terrible play-by-play guy, but he needs to just be the play-by-play guy. And they need to pull someone in to help out with A-Rod who can't carry the load by himself. Some guys can, some guys can't. If they're stuck with A-Rod and they feel like that this is the guy they want, okay, fair enough, whatever. But you got to get someone else in there with them to give a different perspective. And honestly, I think Eduardo Perez does a pretty darn good job. But I would prefer to see them continue to do what they're doing with the StatCast. So hopefully if that StatCast continues, that's what I'll be watching. All right. This weekend, you got the Brewers going to Milwaukee. We normally don't fare very well there, but it's Smiley versus Hauser today. Smiley looked a lot better his last time out. He's going tonight, and Hauser, for people who aren't familiar with him, he is a long bullpen type of guy. They would like for him to go 5-6 innings, but he normally goes around 3 or 4. With that being said, he's playing the Braves, and they're going to swing at the first pitch, so he'll probably pitch a complete game shutout because they're not working the counts. They're out there playing rec league softball. I know a lot of people think I overreact to this. You've got to work the counts, get into the bullpen. That's how the game is won. Doing what they do and try to ambush every play because all they ever want to do is hit a fastball on an 0-0 count. When you don't connect, and it's obviously happening quite a bit, if you look at the batting averages at the top of our lineup, when you don't connect, it becomes an absolute nightmare. So if they can work the count, and I still think we need to change that batting order. Put Freddie back at number 3 where he belongs. I want to see Dansby or Ozzie at number 2. Ozuna behind Freddie, even though he's not hitting well, it's still the presence. And then maybe give me Riley at number 5. He's proven that he needs to be up in the lineup, and that's the way I would go with it. Going up against Hauser, that is going to be a tough one. And then tomorrow we have, so I won't be doing Braves Country on Saturdays and Sundays. We do other shows on Saturdays and Sundays. My wife's like, it's enough already. Okay. So for people who are just finding us through Braves Country, we do a morning show every day, 8:30 to 9:30 live on YouTube. And then we do post the replay. So tomorrow, by the way, if you're into Chicago Cubs or Chicago White Sox baseball, 9 a.m. Eastern. Normally it's going to be a little later, but tomorrow we're doing 9 a.m. Eastern. We will post the replay. The Chicago Cubs and Chicago White Sox. So we're calling it the neighborhood play. And then, of course, 10 o'clock is our fantasy baseball analytical show. That is called The Perfect Pitch with Sean O'Toole and Stephen Troche. Joey Areola is with us in the Chicago, along with Christian. So we're going to start that one tomorrow. And then going forward, Wake Up Nation's coming back, but I got to wait for things to clear up in my work. So Wake Up Nation, so something different. I'll let y'all know about that down the road, but it is coming back as soon as I get some time to do it. And we are starting a Yankees and Red Sox vodcast, whatever you want to call this, YouTube show. And that will be coming out on Fridays here in a few weeks. So there you go with that. Yankees, Red Sox with it'll be Temus and then starting with us in June. I believe Angelo will be with us some point at that point. So there you have that. Okay. Back to the topic at hand. The Ian Anderson goes on the mound tomorrow. Ian Anderson pitched last Saturday. Here's my issue with Ian Anderson going tomorrow and not going today. Ian Anderson will not face the Mets now. So you're going to get Smiley in the game 3 against the Mets. And so I don't like that. I think they should have pushed, they should have flip-flopped him. They both had plenty of rest. Should have put Ian Anderson out today with Smiley out tomorrow. So right off the jump, that is a bad job by the Braves, by Snicker. So if you pitch on Friday and you get 4 days off, you're due back on Wednesday, which is when the Mets series ends. So you would have had Fried, Morton, Anderson. Now it's Fried, Morton, Smiley. What the hell? And if you really wanted to do something creative, if you really wanted to get outside the box, I probably would have pushed Anderson to Sunday and let YNOA start game 1, let Fried go game 2, and Anderson game 3, and have Charlie Morton start the Pittsburgh series. But that's not what we're going to get. We're going to get Anderson versus Anderson, by the way. Brett Anderson's pitching for Milwaukee on Saturday. On Sunday, it's YNOA versus Peralta. That should be a lot of fun. For those of y'all who have not watched Peralta pitch of Milwaukee, he is a strikeout kid. These are two really young studs going up against each other, and I for one, cannot wait. That game is a 2:10 first pitch. Saturday's game is a 7:10 first pitch. All these are being shown locally. I'm not seeing where there's a national TV showing for this. I'll pull that up in a second just to double check. And then tonight is 8:00 Eastern. So there you go with that. So great day, great weekend of baseball for the Braves. You got to start getting on base. That's a hitter's park. I'm expecting the Braves to score some runs. They better get the runs in Friday and Saturday because Peralta has been nasty. I'm interested to see. I hope to hell he's okay. Remember, ACUNA hurt himself. X-rays came back negative. That doesn't mean he's playing tonight. So he might miss a game or two. We won't know that till closer to first pitch. We did get some good news though. So PACHE was injured. We saw that. Tight hamstring. They're putting him on the aisle. I think this is a quiet way of it not being a terrible injury. They're going to let him rest, and they might send his ass back to AAA to rediscover his swing. Ender INCIARTE is coming off the IL today. So the great news about that is, hey, he was starting to hit pretty well. Not for power. He's a punch and Judy hitter at this point in his career. That's fine. Get on base, cause havoc. But he can play center field, and ACUNA can stay over and right, assuming ACUNA is healthy. If not, then I expect Adrianza to play right field tonight. So that's exciting news that INCIARTE, because there was talk about what if PACHE had to go to the IL, who the hell were they going to have to put ACUNA in center and Adrianza in right, and I just don't think it's a wise idea because you wear a guy down playing center field. And his true position is right field anyways. He makes phenomenal plays in right field. Not that he doesn't play a very good center field, but he's a phenomenal right fielder, and I would like for them to no longer have that as any kind of a strategic option. He's our right fielder, damn it, and we got to keep him healthy. Let the center fielder do all the running. Let INCIARTE do all the running around. And anything we get from him with the bat is extra. On that same front, had it pulled up here a second. Heredia is still injured, so I don't believe he'll be coming back. he's still a little bit of ways away, but I think they would like to, in a perfect world, when he's ready, have him and INCIARTE play platoon and let PACHE just grow up down there in AAA. He's phenomenal defensively. I love watching him play on defense. But you can't have a guy hitting like 111 in your lineup because that's 2 automatic outs at the bottom of your order every game. And that's one of the reasons why the offense is just struggling. And he's not even a guy that at least moves the runners over to the right position, right? Guy on second, nobody out. PACHE's not a guy that typically is going to hit to the right side to move the guy over. So he's got a I still believe in him. I still think he's going to be a great player. So don't get me wrong on that. As far as the bullpen, we got Morton back. He's got to get some rust off of him. Green should be ready to roll, I would think, sometime next week, possibly maybe next weekend. And keep your eye out on a kid named Daysbel Hernandez. He is a 5'10" Cuban defector. Relief pitcher in our AAA system right now that's hitting 99 miles an hour and has a slider. His only issue is that he doesn't have the pinpoint control you would like to see out of a reliever. But just keep your ear to the ground on that. Daysbel Hernandez could be hitting the Braves bullpen sometime this summer. And if they can get his control down and they can get him to just, I'm not saying he's going to be the closer, but you could extend that bullpen. You could stretch that bullpen. I still think Atlanta's going to have to make a move for a closer or at least a setup man. And they just tag team it between Morton and Smith. And if Minter can get his head straight and just kind of play best matchups. But I'm sick and damn tired of seeing Luke Jackson and Mike Tomlin in high leverage situations. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Have a great weekend, y'all. We'll see you Monday. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. We do this Monday through Friday. I usually try to post it somewhere between 10 and 11 a.m. It really comes down to what happens in the early morning live show. So we will see you Monday. Come on, Braves. Can we at least get 2 out of 3 here this weekend? And can we win tonight so we don't have another 4-game losing streak? We'll see you.
You're in Braves country.